What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris Style
Ammo.
Podcast, episode 185, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good day, whatever you're doing. You're at home, you're at work. We appreciate you tapping in with us on the live stream. If you're listening on the playback, put a little comment in the comments section. We got a lot of things to discuss today, some NFL stuff, some other things, Deion Sanders updates, Cam Newton comment, discourse that we got to talk about, Lakers stuff that we got to talk, or Shaq or Kobe stuff we got to talk about. But before we get into that, Maul, how are you feeling, sir?
Feeling good, man. Feeling great. Great day so far. Great weekend so far, man. Can't complain, man. Enjoying this hot ass weather that we have. Besides that, how you feeling, man?
I'm all right, man. I can't complain. You know, just another day, man. Just we're grateful to be here.
Absolutely. Staying blessed.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Let's talk about because he had a press conference this morning, so I figured it'd be right to talk about it first. But Deion Sanders he had a press conference today, and it's been rumored about his health hadn't been so good. I know Stephen A. Smith was wishing him well wishes, and a few other people were talking about his health. But it's come to find out that he had cancer in his bladder, um, and he had to get it removed. And he's cancer free, so he's back to good health. He had to work himself back to good health, but it seems like everything is good to go, and he's back to coaching. But he had to step away because of this situation. So, it was good to see that he's in good spirits. And, Dion, he's always going to be positive through any situation. You really don't see him, be negative through anything. And so, talking about him, being positive through this whole thing, and, Randy Moss being by his side. It looks like Rucci was by his side. And of course, his kids were by his side, so it was good to just see that he was in good spirits and had a good support system. I'm sure Shannon Sharp was right there with him too, and any of some of the other guys that he's close with. I'm just glad that he's healthy, and we're not talking about a different situation we've been dealing with. Celebrity deaths, especially the one, of course, with Malcolm Jamal Warner. That was unfortunate. I'm glad that we didn't have to be talking about that with brother Deion Sanders. So, what were your thoughts on? I don't know if you watched any of the clips of the press conference, but how did you feel?
Honestly, I'm really relieved that Dion is in better health. Obviously, we all kind of figured something serious was going on due to, a lot of people that were close to him, and some of the emotion. I remember Michael Irvin was kind of talking about the situation. You kind of saw the emotion in his face as he talks about Dion. Whether you love Dion or not, I think we all know Dion is a very passionate individual that loves what he does. I think he's an inspiration to especially our community and stuff like that. Man, he's a good energy type of brother that I think I know we personally don't know him, but from the outside looking in, man, it seems like he is who he is, and I think that's a good brother over there, man. And I'm sure all of us and our families have dealt with somebody dealing with cancer. We all
Mm-hmm.
know how serious that situation can be. So I agree with everything that Dion kind of said in his statements, man. Like, get checked up, especially as brothers out there. We tend to be a little hard headed, going to the doctors and stuff like that. I mean, even me, like, I've had my issues with, blood pressure and stuff like that, and trying to maintain that and stuff like that. I'm sure Chris can attest some of the stuff he's been through, and I commend any brother, man. Just get tested, man. Life is too short. Us as individuals, man, we're dying young every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to situations that I think that we can probably, keep in control. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that Dion is in good spirits and good health. I'm glad he's not leaving the game. I know there's been a lot of people making some interesting commentary about him leaving because he's not coaching his son and Travis, and people like that just kind of show the insensitivity in the situation that's going on with his life. And we all know the seriousness of some of the illnesses that he's dealt with blood clots and toes amputated and stuff like that. And I mean, if it was me and I saw people making comments like that about my dad, I don't know how I would react, especially, me being close to that situation. It just shows
Mhm.
sensitivity in a lot of people's eyes in this world. And people get accustomed to just saying anything that they feel like they can just say because they're on the internet and they don't have to, receive any kind of repercussions to certain comments. So, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that Dion is back. I'm glad he's healthy, and I'm excited to see what Colorado can do with all the transfers and the new quarterback situation. I'm sure he's excited to obviously see his son, live out his dream and playing in the NFL. But at the same time, I'm sure it's a inspiring opportunity for him to prove people wrong that he can do this coaching thing without, the likes of, his son and Travis Hunter being a part of the team, and show the real coach that he really is. And I know me and you believe he's a great coach because we've seen it. Even though you had your son and Travis Hunter, you still had to coach. You still had to coach the team. We've seen a lot of teams that had talent that didn't do anything. And for what he was able to do with Colorado, taking them to be a one-win team to, honestly, like, if they win the Kansas game, they're probably in the playoff the playoff last year. So
Mhm.
I know it was a disappointing end to the year, but at the end of the day, I think it was a great year at, for them to even be able to get the opportunity to even be in that position, especially where that program was not even a couple years ago. So prayers out to Dion, and I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, man, it's just good to see Dion in good spirits, and like I said, glad he even spoke about it. Like, glad we're not having a different conversation about Deion Sanders, and that he's well alive and everything is good. And hope, like I said, just pray for a great season from Dion this year. No other health complications coming his way. Prayers,
Absolutely.
blessings going his way. So, uh, speaking of death, polarizing figure Hulk Hogan passed away last week. I want to say it was last Friday.
Hmm.
He passed away, had cardiac arrest in his sleep. I think they said he was. They rushed him to the hospital, and he ended up passing away in the hospital. There were, of course, we all know that Hulk Hogan is a very polarizing figure for many various different reasons. Um, of course, one of the reasons is that he is probably single handedly the reason that wrestling became mainstream the way it did. At first, people looked at wrestling like it was kind of a sideshow, um, but he brought eyes into it because he was such a polarizing figure. His character, um, the song, um, just the whole. At that time, everybody was very I don't want to call it militant, but very into the American pride. And he represented that as far as wrestling goes, and waving the American flag and all that stuff. And a lot of people were patriotic. That's what the word I'm listening. Very patriotic back then. And not to say that there's none now, but it was way more in your face back then that everybody was patriotic, and he represented that. And say your prayers and eat your vitamins, and a lot of kids gravitated to that. Black, white, green, no matter what race you was, you gravitated to that as a kid. But as you've gotten older with Hulk Hogan, you've realized that there are some things about Hulk Hogan, not even some, a lot of things about Hulk Hogan that just weren't right and not right with him as a person. The whole situation with his daughter dating a black man, and he was with some woman and she recorded him, and they recorded audio of him saying racist stuff towards the black man, calling him the n-word on numerous times, and saying that if she is going to date an n-word, that he got to be 8 foot tall and making millions of dollars. We've also heard discourse from other wrestlers. Jesse the Body Ventura talked about how he was trying to get the wrestlers unionized, and Hulk Hogan, of course, ran and told Vince McMahon, and that pretty much sealed that deal. Like, it really messed it up, and it messed up the friendship between him and Jesse Ventura. Macho Man has expressed his issues with Hulk Hogan. Then you fast forwarded to WCW days, and I've always said this, that from a wrestling standpoint, the greatest heel turn of all times is Hulk Hogan, because nobody ever saw that coming. With kayfabe is dead nowadays, and everybody knows what's going on, and you get all these bloggers who spoil everything for you on Twitter. Like, pretty much got to stay away from X if you don't want to get spoiled from anything going on in wrestling or anything in this world. Movies alike. Um, but back then, we never saw Hulk Hogan turn heel because, like I just expressed to you, he was the symbolization of patriot, of being good. And then all of a sudden, he turns and joins the NWO, which was probably one of the greatest factions of all time. uh, and he revolutionized that faction, which that faction ushered into the Attitude Era for the WWE because he was in WCW, and WCW was kicking Bush and Name's ass for I forgot how many weeks, but it was a lot of weeks. They was beating them in the ratings. They had they had a WWE in the water, and if it wasn't for the NWO and those wrestlers pushing for a more raunchier, more edgier type of feel to them, we don't know where WWE would be right now because Hulk Hogan could have single handedly been the reason they were mainstream, and he could have single handedly been the reason why they died. So, but back to his WCW days, we've heard stories of him having too much control over his character, too much control, cutting people off, not allowing young talent to advance, just being for himself. Then we fast forwarded to when TNA was coming up. Uh, they were hitting their stride. And then here comes Hulk Hogan. He's supposed to give them a rub, but he never did. He always talked about himself. He never brought them up. He never shot them out. He never did nothing. Even took away something that was very unique to them, which is the six-sided ring. Nobody's ever seen that before. That was unique to TNA. And he took it away and brought back the regular ring. And numerous of wrestlers have talked about how, they hated the ring, but at the end of the day, it was unique for TNA, and it kind of took away their identity. So that's just some of the things that you know Hulk Hogan has been seen as somebody who's for himself, and also on top of that, a racist and tone deaf. He still tries to come out in front of fans who have openly told him that he's not welcome here. We don't like you. We know what you're about. And nothing more prevalent than that was the Netflix premiere of Raw. Him still coming out there thinking that he was going to get some pop, thinking that people were going to cheer him. And I just think that just led to his tone deafness of him thinking that he's still somebody who's prominent in today's era.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing because I think a lot of people, there was a lot of discourse. There are some people who are on one side to say F Hulk Hogan. I'm more so on that side. I'm more so on F Hulk Hogan because once you display yourself, and yes, I get it, you're supposed to forgive people for, we all got our mess, we all make mistakes, we all do our things, but when you're not remorseful for it, I gotta judge you a different way. It's different if he was remorseful for it. It was different if he was doing things and actions to show that he was really remorseful for it. I just think that he was mad he got caught. And then when he claimed that he apologized to the black wrestlers, they've all outed him and said, no, he never did that. He just told them, hey, man, they got audio on us. Y'all be careful out there. That was his way of apologizing. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, forget. Yeah, you forgive somebody. But at the end of the day, you cannot forget that because he was never remorseful for it. He never uh, showed any action to say, you know what, I was wrong, because that's just truly how he felt. Now, and me and Marv talked about it off camera. He even said it off camera. I don't care how, the video about him bumping Young Jeezy. Racists listen to rap music. That don't mean nothing to us. I don't care how many black wrestlers he stand next to or how many hip hop artists you stand next to. Your true feelings are your true feelings. And it kind of coincides what you said, because you said unless he's an 8 foot tall somebody with millions of dollars, now they may not be 8 foot tall, but they got money. So of course you're gonna stand next to them because they're worthy to be in your presence. And so for all the people who are telling us how we supposed to feel about Hulk Hogan, quite frankly, you can't tell me how to feel about Hulk Hogan. My condolences to his family. They lost somebody that they love and his friends. But you can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel, because the evidence, he put it out there. He made his bed. He put that out there for us to see. And he never one time was remorseful or tried to change that narrative. So why should I?
Mhm.
So look, like I said, I'm always gonna give him his props for wrestling, because without him, wrestling wouldn't be where it is. But at the same time, I cannot forget all the bad. So the bad outweighs the good.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Um. Look, I think the thing with his death, I think it brought up an interesting conversation on how we should talk upon the dead. You know, should we be really honest about it? Should we respect it, no matter what the situations may be, no matter what the person who it was? At the end of the day, death is death, and we all know that's a very sensitive situation, no matter who it is with. I think Hulk Hogan's kind of like in the same light as like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? To me, because I think, especially in our culture, I think in the initial stages, I think he was very popular within our culture in the early wrestling days. You know, I think he was very polarizing wrestler that. Look, we all understand what Hulk Hogan meant to the wrestling world and what he's established and where wrestling is currently right now, and it's really because of him and Vince McMahon. We all kind of know that situation. We all kind of know the story, and it is what it is. But at the same time, we all know who the real man is, and when we start understanding who the real person is, opinions can differ. Um, you see people, saying that, even within our community, that they don't feel comfortable talking about the dead, and maybe it's a little too soon to speak on the realities of what Hulk Hogan was. But um, I'm sorry, I don't buy that, because I've seen so many people who've talked about people within our culture who have died, who said outrageous things, and I don't see anybody coming to defend that. I've never seen people, there's been people within our community who will fight harder for a white man who has said some disparaging things about our community, who have put us in a light that we have been trying to get out of since, our assimilation into this country. And it's kind of sad. It saddens me that people will fight harder for that than people that have died in our communities that didn't deserve that, whether they were celebrities or not. I've seen the conversations about George Floyd, and I know those two people are totally different in as far as like the magnitude that they've hit our country with. But I've seen people disparage George Floyd not even 30 minutes after he died, not even an hour. I still see it today. I still see people talk about Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean? And certain situations that he
OJ
went in different.
Simpson.
OJ
OJ
Simpson.
Simpson.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't see a lot of people within our community up in arms about, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We got to respect that. But I've seen a couple people about Hulk Hogan. It's like, look, I get it. I understand it, that it's very sensitive, but we can't run away from the conversation on who he was as an individual. And then the tone, I agree with you, the tone deafness of the whole situation. You know what I mean? I know it's a sensitive thing, but the reality is the reality. Him aligning with Trump and everything that's been going on within our country, and the insensitivity that has been just grown, the unhumane stuff that has just grown within our country, and some of the things that have just conspired, and him to align to that, it's another tone deaf situation. And I think the WWE plays a part of that. They still try to pawn him off like he's some guy that needs to be shown around. I think the WWE is bigger than what Hulk Hogan is. And I understand Hulk Hogan had a big part in what the WWE, the WWF, whatever the hell you want to call it, what it is. But I think wrestling is huge enough where they can get away from Hulk Hogan. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Like, he will be in the Hall of Fame. Like, if you want to go read upon the history of Hulk Hogan, Go there. If you want to research about Hulk Hogan, look at the documentaries. But I don't think when he was alive in these latter years, I don't think it was prominent for them to just parade him around. I think you have too many superstars that have been in this organization that I don't think you need him like that. And for you to just keep parading him around that, I think you just keep slapping a certain fan base in the face by doing that situation. And it is what it is. So yes, there is one side where you can be like condolences to the family. I'm not gonna put anything on them for what he did. We personally haven't seen anything from what their family has done. I get it, the fruit may not fall far from the tree in a sense, but I'm not gonna be that type of person that's just gonna say some stuff that I have no evidence on. The only evidence we have is what came out the mouth of that gentleman. And I'm sure they are hurting right now. I'm sure there are friends of his that are hurting right now. And you know what? I'm grown enough to be like, condolences to you and what you have to go through. I know going through death is a very hard thing, but don't be mad at people who may want to be like, they don't care. They're not losing sleep, because there's been plenty of people in our community that y'all have said the same thing. So it's a double-edged sword, and you just got to eat it, and then you just got to hear it, and it just is what it is. So that's just kind of my whole feel on that. Hulk Hogan will be a Hall of Famer, but there's just going to be some ugly baggage that comes with him, and I think everybody needs to understand that, and they just need to accept the conversation wherever it goes and how a particular person wants to feel. If Chris wants to feel saying F Hulk Hogan, I don't care. He can rot in hell type stuff. He has every right to feel that way. Anybody has every right to feel that way, because he hurt a portion of a community that really was a fan of his. And what he said was a spin in our face and a slap in our face, and something that we got to get reminded for day by day. And and I know there's certain people in our community. I know there's people in other communities that keep complaining that, why do our community keep bringing stuff like this up, like racism and stuff like that? Because you know why? Because we have to get reminded every day. We have to keep going through these situations every single day. So yes, it's going to continuously get brought up, because you know why? We're still living in it today. And I hope people within our own community can understand that and not try to be this, pandering type of person that's just kind of just want to be too cool for the whole conversation, and they think it's a played out conversation. It's never a played out conversation. This is just the reality of what it is. And I hope people like us will start fighting and continue to fight for that situation, and not just make it as white noise. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Prayers, but at the same time, I'm not losing sleep over that situation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about Cam Newton, man. So we talked about it on Wednesday's show, about what Cam Newton said, what Ryan Clark said, um about the him not putting Jalen Hurts in the top 10. you know Ryan Clark kind of got a little personal with his, him not saying that he went to the Super Bowl, then put his cape on. Then Cam Newton shot back, reading off Ryan Clark's his accolades and his career, comparing them to two. Then Ryan Clark went on his thing, social media, and was like, "Look, I ain't, what I'm saying, I ain't tripping about what he said, what I'm saying." And he even said, "Look, y'all out here wilding about Cam Newton. I ain't say what I said to like disparage the man. Like Cam Newton is one of our greats in college and in NFL." So, and it's been just a big discourse on Cam Newton, who he was as a career, and it's always it kind of was like that while he was playing. Like, it was always a discourse with Cam Newton, even from college. And I think it also had to do with a lot of the controversial situation in Florida with the computers and his pops and money and all that situation. You even heard Paul Feinbein weeks ago talking about old Urban Meyer said you're the worst player you ever coached, which is kind of crazy. But I just think that there's at times we get caught up and get emotional about these situations. I get it. Me and Maul said that Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback. We've even argued possibly he could be top 5, just off the strength of what he's accomplished in this
Mhm.
league. You know what I'm saying? He's been to two Super Bowls. He's won one. He was an MVP candidate. And had he had not got hurt, he probably would have won it that year.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So um, we think that Jalen Hurts is a great player for what he does, and he's invented a move that nobody can stop.
Yeah.
You tried to duplicate it, and they can't duplicate it. Like you don't think that Josh Allen should be not be able to do this move? He tried it, but he can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a move that the league tried to get rid of, and they just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So we both say that, but putting Jalen Hurts to the side, I want to talk about Cam Newton. Now you have you're a Florida Gator fan, so you know Cam Newton. You know his situation. You know he left. He sat behind Tim Tebow. He came in on like running plays. I remember he used to come in on goal line plays and stuff like that because he was a force of nature. The kid was like 6'6", 260 pounds. Like we've never seen anything like Cam Newton. Probably not since possibly Josh Allen is probably the closest thing to Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Just his style of play, the way he throws the football, all that stuff. But we can't take away. My man went to Blinn College, a junior college. Went down there, won a national championship. Transferred to Auburn. Went to Auburn with it, and you guys do your research. Go in there and look at some of the offensive pieces that he had around him. None of them. I don't think none of them went to the NFL. Maybe some. I think he was the only one. But while there, yeah, he only threw for 2,589 yards and 28 touchdowns. But he rushed for 1,409 and 20 other touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 48 touchdowns total. Doing that on his back with really no great receivers. He had no Percy Harvin. He ain't had no Jeremiah Smiths. No, he ain't had no Marvin Harrison Juniors.
Yeah.
He ain't had nothing like that. It
Mm-hmm.
was just he was the offense. He had a solid defense. His defense was really good. Nick Fairley, D Ford, they were good, but it was nothing crazy. Like he went to Alabama with those players and beat Alabama. And then he goes to the NFL, becomes the first overall pick. He also wins the Heisman, the Maxwell Award, the Walter Camp Award. He won all the accolades in college. Then goes to the NFL, goes to the Carolina Panthers, who were bad. First overall pick, becomes rookie of the year. I think in his first two games, he threw for 500 yards, both
Mm-hmm.
games. Mind you, his best receiver, because Steve Smith, he was there for a cup of coffee and then he got traded away. His best receiver through his career was Greg Olsen. He took Ted Ginn Jr. and Jericho Cotchery to the Super Bowl. And yes, his defense was pretty good because he had Luke Kuechly, and we all think Luke Kuechly is probably one of the greatest linebackers to ever play the game. You could argue he's right behind Ray.
Josh Norman was good that year. He was
Josh
really good that
Norman
year.
was really good. He was locking stuff down, taking the football away. Like they had some players. I'm not even discounting that. They went
Mm-hmm.
15-1. He won the MVP that year. But I think a lot of people think of him not falling on the ball. And I get it. We all had that same thing. But we also got to account for if he fell on the ball, it's 4th and 20.
And probably has a broken, dislocated shoulder at that too.
It's 4th and 20. It's not
Yeah.
like the man would have fell on the fumble and it'd have been like 1st and 10.
But then I understand it because you saved the ball, you could punt it, put field
Yeah,
position. Yeah,
I
we get
agree.
it.
I
We
get.
understand.
I get. Yeah, because they scored. I think they scored on the next drive on that one.
Yeah,
On that
yeah,
one.
short field. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. We get it.
So, but I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I just think that people capitalize that as Cam Newton's career. That one moment. And I get it was a big moment on the big stage, but I don't think that should account for what Cam Newton brought to the game. We've never seen anything like a Cam Newton. If we had, if they had, if Carolina wasn't such a bad organization and they had put some actual real weapons around him, just imagine what Cam Newton would have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We would have been talking about him in a different light. Like I said, we've never seen anything like Cam Newton before.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't just running by people, he was running over people. You
Yeah.
didn't want to tackle Cam Newton. That was like tackling a defensive lineman. Like he was different, and
Hmm.
he had a cannon for an arm. He could launch it 67 yards down the field because he was so big,
Hmm.
and he was doing that with. I think Greg Olsen it was a great tight end for his time, but outside of that, you can't name me outside of Steve Smith. You can't name me one wide receiver that he was great. He had Kelvin Benjamin for that one great season, and then Kelvin Benjamin ate himself out the league. Couldn't keep his weight down.
Hmm.
Outside of that, he couldn't. And then by the time he did get some decent players, he was too hurt. His body was beat up.
Yeah.
He had ran over so many people, them shoulder injuries started getting to him. And he was just a shell of himself, unfortunately. But this discourse to try to act like Cam Newton wasn't a good player, we gotta stop this. We do. We gotta stop.
Yeah, man, we all know what it is, man. It's just trolling. It's trolling era, bro. You know what it is. The internet's gonna do that, man. They're always gonna belittle anything that you do. You see it. They're doing it with a lot of players, even like some of the all-time greats. You know what I mean? They try to belittle Michael. They try to belittle LeBron, Kobe, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Mike Tyson. Like we see it everywhere. You know what I mean? You can nitpick at any career. You know what I mean? And look, Cam Newton, yeah. You know what I mean? One of the biggest stories of his career is the loss to the Denver Broncos, and they didn't get over the hump. They had a great year. They finished the regular season 15-1. Um, Only two losses the whole entire year. I'm like, that's an amazing year. You know what I mean? Especially, I don't even think the Commanders were even kind of depicted to make it to. Like, I think they were depicted to have a good year, but I don't think they were slated to be like one of the Super Bowl true contenders. You know what I mean? Just based on like kind of what you said. Like, yeah, they had a really good defense, but yeah, there were some holes on that offensive side. Like, none of the receivers really truly was like one of those like, oh, you know what I mean? Like they're really, really deep. But Cam Newton was just that special where they were able to, get to that mark, man. Cam Newton will always be one of the best quarterbacks. I'm not even just gonna say black quarterback, but he's just one of the best quarterbacks to, ever lace, man. I think he's probably the toughest quarterback to ever play in this game. Just some of the like if you look at a lot of these highlights, man, he took a beating. You know what I mean? And for him to last as long, he was like the Derrick Henry of quarterbacks. You know what I mean? As far as like just the brute size and who he was. And you know what I mean? When he went to him taking that Auburn team and winning the national championship, that was a lot. You know what I'm saying? There was moments within that season, I believe, that it didn't like they, had some questionable points in their season where you didn't know if they were going to get those wins or, able to get over the hump. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to really take too much stock into people, trolling Cam Newton in his career. And then I get it. Cam going to be ultra sensitive to it because it is his career. It is his memory within football history. And he doesn't want it to get downplayed because we have idiots on the internet that are just going to say some outrageous things because we have this perception on what greatness is. But in reality, it's not. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different forms to greatness besides winning championships. Consistency, leading a team, what he was able to accomplish with the certain situations that was attached to him, and he did all that. You know what I mean? So, the real ones know what Cam Newton meant to the game and what he was as a player, and we understand that. You know what I mean? And hopefully he gets that. And again, I know I said it before, man. Hopefully these brothers, Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, can squash this,
I
man, and
think
just
they
move.
did.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know. I
He
didn't
said
really.
he called his peoples and stuff. And they
That's
talked.
good. That's good. Well, I'm glad those two gentlemen were able to be big enough to, to me, it's just something like this isn't really necessary to, lose a brotherhood or a friendship or whatever kind of relationship that you have. It's not really that deep. Like, look, careers can be subjective, depending on what your rules of what a great player are. I know everybody is different in a sense. So, just like when we kind of do these lists, like, me and Chris might have our own, we do these lists every now and then, but doesn't mean like we're always right. These are just our opinions. You can have your own opinion. That's why we always ask y'all to, ingratiate yourselves in any of these conversations because, what I mean? Like that's the beauty of sport and having conversations and depicting on who's the greatest and not. it's fun. Like, yeah, some of these can become heated debates, but I think it's all healthy and fun because I think sports is one of the last true passions that I think people, especially in our country, have currently in this state of form. You know what I mean? Because everything's just kind of going array right now. So I think sports is the only thing that really brings a lot of different ethnic groups together. So it creates really great conversations from different mindsets and stuff like that. And this is just one of many, man. So shout out to Cam, man. Shout out to Ryan Clark, man. And we all know who y'all are as players, man. We don't really need to get that deep with it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Also, yeah, and don't forget Cam Newton made this in the dab. He made that popular. I just gonna put that out there. It's gonna put that out there.
Yeah. Cam Newton walk so Josh Allen can run.
He did.
That is the reality of the situation.
He did.
Josh Allen ain't nothing but a carbon copy of Cam Newton. That's all he really is, dog.
He is.
Really all
Yeah, I
he is.
love him.
Yeah, y'all do. And I love Josh
I
Allen
love
too.
Josh Allen too.
I love Josh Allen too. But come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
But he gets way more excuses than
Yeah,
Cam
he
Newton
do.
ever did.
Yeah, you really do.
All right, man. We gotta bring it home, buddy. Your boy, freak boy, Christian Wilkins,
Yeah,
got cut from the team, man.
yeah.
Was that last Friday?
It
Thursday?
was like last Thursday, Friday, or something like that. Yeah.
Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday because we was at work. So they end up cutting him from the team because they felt like he needed surgery on his foot. He had hurt his foot last year, and they felt like he needed surgery. He felt like he didn't need surgery, and they didn't like the way he rehabbed. So they did like a veteran vested cut to where they want to get the 35 point some odd million, guaranteed money back, not pay him that. Um, and I think they knew what they was doing because right now NFL PAs in disarray. So they was like, yeah, we're gonna get this. Because honestly, it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be hard to prove that he didn't do good rehabbing because you don't have to rehab with the team doctors. You just don't.
I don't think it's the rehab. I think it's they know he needs surgery and he refuses to get surgery. I think that's something that's defiant. That's definite. Like, if you need surgery or not. And if you're not going to go with what sorry to cut you off, but if you're not going to go with what the doctors prescribed you, the team that's paying you, I think it's different than just a rehab situation.
Yeah, but either way, he got cut from the team. But then we're hearing other things about him being nasty in the locker room. Adam Schefter, I think he said something about he kissed a player on the forehead and the player didn't like it.
I don't think it's just that though.
I think he was doing other things to this player, and it just got boiled to the head. And we've heard stories of Christian. If you haven't heard stories of Christian, he was doing some nasty stuff.
Stories. We see video.
We saw the video of him winning was that the national championship when he did that?
Yeah, because it was Ohio. It was an Ohio State player. Yeah, when he stuck the finger in the booty hole or something.
Also seeing stuff of him humping players on the field and the pals and stuff. It's just, it's not good. It's not good. But they're saying that they've asked him times to stop messing with the player, and he refused. So, what are your thoughts? This is your team. Do you think Christian Wilkins will be on another NFL team?
Yeah, I think he'll be on another NFL team. I just don't know if it's going to be this year because I think he needs surgery on his foot. You know what I mean? He's been in and out of a boot all summer. He had surgery last year. He had the foot problem last year. I think he only played 6 or 7 games last year before he got hurt. So he's been out for a while. And you would assume he would have been ready for training camp, but for some odd reason, he was still in the foot. He was still in the boot. I think pictures came around. I want to say May or something, like April or May. Pictures started coming out of Christian Wilkins being in the boot. I think it was during OTAs or something like that. And I think that was when the conversation started boiling a little bit within Raider Nation. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Why is he still in the boot? What's going on with this? With the whole injury situation, he should be gearing up, ready for training camp at this point. He should be at least running. You know what I mean? Especially, and I get it. Foot injuries are one of the things you want to be more cautious with because I think it's really easy to re-injure the injury. You know what I mean? We see it a lot. You know what I mean? In all different sports, but is it disappointing? Yeah, absolutely. It's disappointing. I was pretty shocked when I saw the news. You know what I mean? I didn't think it would get this far. We all expected Christian Wilkins pairing up with Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson, that we would have had a legit rotation of D linemen. You know what I mean? It would have been a scary thought. Because we all know Christian Wilkins is a hell of a player. You know what I mean? He's great on the inside. He's a very forceful dude. I think that combination of Max Crosby and him could have did damage. You know what I mean? We didn't even get to see all that. This is just another reminder of how bad the last regime was with Antonio Pierce and Mike Telesco and some of the players that they signed or drafted that just aren't on the team anymore. And to get reminded again that another regime just was not good. It sucks. And then obviously, hearing certain situations about him doing stuff with players, and I know you kind of said it. Adam Schefter kind of said that something about somebody kissing somebody on the forehead was one of the reasons. And I think it's more to that situation. I saw stuff about toes and other things and stuff like that.
He was tickling the players' feet.
Something like that. I said, I don't know if any of these are true. Like, I saw stuff about tickling toes. I saw stuff about licking toes. I saw a lot of stuff. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it was just a combination of everything that I think the Raiders were just like, nah, we're not doing that. The main thing with the Raiders this year is trying to establish a new culture, because we have been in this losing mind state, this repetitive BS mind state that has just put our team in the same position year after year after year after year. And with Pete Carroll being there, Spytek and Tom Brady, we got new ownership groups being part of the team, being pumped in the team with Mark Davis, selling portions of his ownership away. Stuff like that is just not going to be tolerated anymore. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm sure this organization wants to not be looked at as a laughingstock. Us as fans are tired of this team being looked at as a laughingstock. We are very proud to be Raiders fans. We will always be proud to be Raiders fans, but it's been tough these last couple of years. It's been tough for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Of just the ineptitude this team has been, you know what I mean? Minus that 1 year with Derek Carr until he, broke his ankle. You know what I mean? That was probably our last really good year that we had, you know what I mean? Minus, a couple 500 seasons where we lucked up and made it into the playoffs and stuff like that. But besides that, man, we've just been terrible. So, look, I know they signed a player off of waivers. We'll see how he does. Yeah. Obviously, I think the big thing is Tyree Wilson. I think, he's going to be one of the big keys to see if he can fill in that role with Christian Wilkins. He was our big draft pick a couple years ago. And, how I feel. We should have got Jalen Carter. So I really hope that brother really proves me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to prove that the Raiders back then, those couple years when they drafted him, were correct. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the last players that were a part of that regime. So we'll see. You know what I mean? But again, it's not Raiders news if it ain't controversial, I guess. You know what I mean? But if it's something that they needed to do to, make this make the locker room more at peace and push us in the correct direction, then hey, it is what it is. And I personally, from reading from certain people, I think it's going to be tough for Christian Wilkins to get that money back, especially with some of the language. I think it's easy for them to get out of that guaranteed money, and then again, this is going to probably take years before we even get a final decision on anything, because number one, NFLPA, as you stated, is just in a hurricane storm right now that we don't know if they're ever going to get out of. They're in the eye of it. Mm-hmm. And then even when they do get it, they still got to go through the due process, gather evidence, and go through an arbitrator. And we all know how long that takes. So this could be years before any decision gets made whether he's going to get the money or not. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be hopeful for this Raiders team, and hopefully that we can make a surprising run and maybe compete for one of the last playoff spots in the AFC. So I know a lot of people have us in high regards to be one of the more surprising teams this season. So I think that's a positive sign. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we will be back.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Its power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
All right, we are back. All right. All right, man. I wanted to talk about this, complex. They love putting these lists out, man.
Yeah.
And so they put a list together of the top hip hop media out there. So I got a list of the top 20, and I just want to get your opinion on it, man. So I'm gonna start with 20. At number 20, they got Off the Record. Is a academics all solo spin-off thing that he does. They got Back on Fig. That's like TDE. All those guys over there. If you want to know everything about TDE, watch Back to Fig. Rory Mall came in at 18. Carissa's Place came in 17. The Crew Has It came in 16. The Bootleg Kev podcast came in 15. On the radio came in 14. Vlad TV at 13. Cam Capone News came at 12. No Jumper came at 11. Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion came at 10. Number 9, Stay Cheese TV. Number 8, Breakfast Club. Number 7, Big Boys Neighborhood. Number 6, Rap Radar. Number 5, $1 million worth of game. Number 4, the Joe Budden podcast. Number 3, Drink Champs. Number 2, DJ Academics. And then, of course, number 1, Kai Cenat. How do you feel about this list, sir?
I don't think Kai should be number 1. I think that's outrageous. I don't think he does a lot of he does a lot of partnerships with hip hop people, but I don't think he's hip hop media. I think he's more of just he's a streamer that has these people on and stuff like that. But I wouldn't consider him hip hop media. I think I would push him back and just kind of move everybody forward. I think academics should probably be number 1. I think he needs to start talking about Drake and Kendrick, but he does do a lot of hip hop media. I think that's pretty much what he's known for. And I think he does a good job for the most part, minus the whole, certain Drake and Kendrick stuff. But I think he does a great job. No matter how you feel about DJ Academics as a personally, but I think he's one of the big staples in hip hop media. Joe Budden is, Drink Champs, Rap Radar, all those guys. I think Kai Cenat should not even be on the list, period. If you're going to put him on the list, maybe put him in the 15 to 20 range or something if you want to put him in. I know Kai Cenat is one of the biggest names in just media, period, with his streams and what he's accomplished and some of the accolades that he's done. And, I think Kai is a great – he's been great. You know what I mean? We can't underestimate. I think he's probably one of the most polarizing streamers next to iShowSpeed. Me personally, within our community, they're the top 2. So I'm not going to discount that, but would I put him as hip hop media? No, I don't. I think Kai Cenat just does too many things to him be number 1 in hip hop media. He does have an impact. I'm not saying he doesn't have an impact. He does. That's why I'll probably put him in like maybe the 15 to 20 range because he still has somewhat of an impact by just the reach of it. But just as far as like true, pure hip hop media, I would not put him in that situation at all. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Kai Cenat is one of the top streamers in the world, but it's hip hop media. No, I don't think he's hip hop media. I don't think that's what his his channel is based off of. His channel,
No, it's not. I don't think so. No.
no, it's not. It's based off a whole array of things of bringing people from all races together, and him doing crazy stuff at his house and
Yeah,
whatever he does. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
understood.
consider him hip hop media. DJ Academics, I get it. If you want to make him number one, yeah, he gets the most controversy, even if you don't like him. You know what I'm saying? He does what he's supposed to do. He gets the clicks, he gets people talking. The young folks like him, the older people don't. That's pretty much the demographic when it comes to DJ Academics. Um, Drink Champs, I'm not mad at them being up there. Personally, I got Joe over Drink Champs.
I would have Joe over Drink Taps too.
Personally, I got Joe number one. That's just me. I got
I would too. I would too. I understand why I could. I just understand why Academics is because I think he's still living off the because he's been involved in a lot of big moments and a lot of big stuff that's happened in recent memory with hip hop, i.e. Kendrick and Drake. He was kind of like the main cog and the main source for all that stuff like that. He's been kind of like the main source in the Tory Lanez case. He's been kind of the main source in the P. Diddy thing where a lot of people been going to his channel for all that information and stuff like that. A lot of stuff that's happening in the newer hip hop age, like, with a lot of these newer artists, he's really tapped in. Joe is probably more for us because it's just his mindset and the music that he messes with and the stuff that he talks about. I think he doesn't talk about the newer age rap too. Like he still kind of gets into it, but not as crazy as DJ Academics. But I personally love Joe Budden's content more. You know what I mean? I think it's all depending on what you like. You know what I mean? I feel like the newer kids and the younger kids will probably go with Academics more than Joe, and then people like us will probably be more with the Joe side of him being up there.
Yeah, I'm not mad at $1 million worth of game. I would put Big Boy's Neighborhood over Rap Radar, but I get it. Breakfast Club, I guess you could say they still up there. Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion was up there at one time when he was doing all his interviews in the barbershop.
Yeah.
And he had all his people. But since then, he's kind of like he's still doing his thing. I'm not taking nothing away from him because now he's went to individual thing and just doing his own stuff. But he was way bigger when he was getting all those interviews in the shop. And then, had his people with him talking to whatever, whether it be celebrities or just people that, in the industry behind the scenes. Like he had some of those good interviews. So I'm not mad at that. I don't know who. Cam is. What is Cam Capone? You know what that is?
I've heard of him. I've never watched his stuff, but I've heard of him before.
Bootleg Kev, I know who that is. He used to
Bootleg Kev.
Be out here, but he does his thing.
I think Bootleg Kev should be a little higher.
I think so too. He has some good interviews. Rory Mal, as much as we can't stand Mal, they need to be higher.
Rory Mal need to be higher. I'm surprised. Is Ebro on the list? I know Ebro does his thing. Ebro. Because I know he has his thing on Apple Music and stuff like that. He should be on there. He should be on there.
On the radio, I'm not mad at that because that's where all them people be freestyling with the green.
Yeah.
Vlad TV, people still go to him. I don't know why.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Karrush's place. Does she even still do anything?
She don't do anything. So I don't even know why she's on the list either. Like she does one show every 3 months. You know what I mean? She's been hiding ever since the Diddy case. So
I don't get that.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Some publications I think need to be on this list that I didn't say. I know it's like out of 100, but I think they should be in the high list. There's a cat named Screwface. He should be on the list. He does a lot of your reviews on new albums and tracks and stuff like that, and he has a lot of viewership. So I think Screwface should be on there. What was another person? My boy 3-Letter Man, PSA Hip Hop. He gets all the interviews from the Griselda dudes, Benny the Butcher. He just did an interview with Method Man. Like he do all those any of those underground hip hop cats that you want to talk to. Plus he covers battle rap, so he's like heavily engrossed in battle rap too. Like if you want to know all that stuff, go watch 3-Letter Man and PSA Hip Hop. He's all over. So there's some other cats out there that I think that should just be getting some way more love. We talking hip hop media should get way more love than some of these people on this list. I don't know. Shannon Sharp being on this list is disgusting. I'm sorry. I love Shannon Sharp. I love Nightcap, but they are not hip hop media.
Yeah, Shannon needs to be off. Kai needs to be off. I'm sorry, Kai. Like anything else related to media, Kai could be on, but just strictly hip hop media, I'm not putting him on there. I just
Shannon Sharp.
can't do it.
Shannon Sharp
He doesn't bring anything.
He
Yeah, like
don't know nothing.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Kai, man. I don't think Kai really like he'll do like some BS, I'll listen to it, and if I vibe to it, I vibe to it situations, or you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, I think Kai is more of just he's a bigger star. Like he's doing shows, he's doing streams with Kai Cenat, he's doing streams with Drewski, he's trying to do streams with LeBron James and situations like that. That's not hip hop media. I don't see he did something with Nicki Minaj, he did something with maybe some other artists like Gorilla or something like that, but I don't think he's asking important hip hop questions. I think he's just hanging out with hip hop personalities. You know what I mean? Like the hip hop media to me is you're down with the story. You're trying to, you're actually dissecting albums. You're actually interviewing artists. You're asking real questions. You're really about the music. You're really about what hip hop is and stuff like that. The stories that are going on within hip hop with certain artists, labels, and stuff like that. Like helping the general public understand what goes on through hip hop with contracts and what goes on with labels and distribution and stuff like that. That's hip hop media to me. You know what I mean? Understanding the project, stuff like that. You just kicking it with some people. That don't really do anything for me with hip hop media. You're just kicking it with somebody. So why Kai Cenat is number one, and I get it. He's on the top of all the tops as far as pedestal. He's the golden child right now with media right now, especially within our culture. And I salute my brother. I'm happy for you. I hope it continues. I hope you continue to flourish. I hope you continue to get back to the community, all that stuff. La-di-da-di-da. But get off this list, bro. Respectfully, bro. Get off this list. You have no business being on this list, bro. Get out of here. It's crap. We're good.
All right, man. Let's talk a little controversy. Venezuelan Little League Baseball. Is it a baseball team?
Yeah, it's a Little League baseball team. Yeah.
Is denied entry in the U.S. You have the story on this?
Yeah, so pretty much the Venezuelan Little League team, they won their pretty much division to make it to the Little League World All-Stars. They went to the embassy to apply for their visas to be able to come and participate in the Little League World Series. Unfortunately, with this administration, they denied them. So unfortunately, their dreams of actually playing for in the Little League World Series is gone because of just pure ignorance. Like, what are we doing? So a lot of people have now been questioning, should the U.S. get the Olympics? Should the U.S. get the World Cup, which are happening here in the next couple of years? If you're going to sit here and deny entry to a Venezuelan Little League baseball team, how are you going to sit here and invite the entire world to a country that is going to sit here and do stuff like this? Like, this is becoming to a point where it's just like, all right, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is your ultimate goal? You know what I mean? Because we're becoming a society that we're becoming the laughing stock of the world. Like, people need to understand that. You know what I mean? I love America just as everybody. We have our flaws. We have a lot of flaws within this country. But what are we really doing? You know what I mean? We're supposed to be the land of hope, the land of opportunity, the open armness of America. That's what made America great. So we're going to sit here and deny a little league baseball team to participate in a baseball tournament, which we're trying to make baseball bigger, but now we're going to alienate this team. So why like that doesn't number one, that doesn't help the sport, that doesn't help the image. And I agree, there has to be some questions involved with the Olympics and the World Cup. Now, is it too late for them to talk about maybe doing it in other areas? Maybe. It might be. But what are we doing as a country, man? Like, what are we doing, man? We got a lot of bigger things than denying a little league baseball team to participate in a baseball tournament. And some people are proud, like, oh, we're saving the country. No, you're not. You just look like idiots, bro. You're wasting money. You're wasting taxpayer dollars. Like, I'm burnt out. We ain't even made it a year. I'm burnt. Man, what are we doing, man? Come on, man. This is stupidity, dog. This shouldn't even make news. But we out here doing dumb, ignorant stuff, and people are sitting here applauding stuff like this. This is what's wrong with our country right now. This is really stupidity stuff. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. People gotta wake up. Wake up. Wake up to reality. Like, this is beyond stupidity, dog. And stuff like this really irks because it's like, I'm done. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not understanding this either. I mean, they're just a little league baseball team. What they think they gonna ship some packs in or something? You know, I don't know. They think they some mules. They're a drug front or something. Like, what y'all think? Like, this is a little.
Why specifically do this team? Are you gonna do this to the Japan team? Are you gonna do this to the European team? Are you gonna do this to the African team? Are you gonna do this to the Mexico or Canada team or the team from Taipei? Or like, what are we doing? The team from Cuba? Like, what are we doing? So you're just gonna eliminate the whole international side and just do the U.S.? Then you gonna start eliminating states and stuff? Like, what are we doing? Like, come on. This is the Little League Baseball. This has nothing to do with the security of our country. This has nothing to do with anything, whatever that administration is doing. This is stupidity stuff. You are wasting our money on stupidity stuff. And if you are sitting here applauding it, bro, you are no worse than what these people are doing, man. Come on, man. Everybody want change, but this ain't the way to do it. This ain't the way to do it. This is not the way to make our country better. It's not. Like, grow up. Grow up.
Now, it was said that if Venezuela does get their visas, they will still have they'll still remain contenders for both sports. So
hopefully they do. And you know what? I'm a root for Venezuelan team. I hope they win the whole goddamn thing. Because this is ridiculous, man. Come on, man. I want to say a lot more, but I ain't going to do it. I'm trying to keep us on the airwaves.
Shout out to Venezuela, man. I hope you guys.
Shout out to y'all, man. Hope y'all get that figured out, man, for real.
Y'all can represent y'all country. Man.
Too much hate in this world, man. We got to start getting back to peace and positivity, man. It's too much hate, man. Let's all grow up.
All right, man. Training camp is kicked off. And we all know that the Cleveland Browns have a unique situation from other people at the quarterback position because they got like 5 quarterbacks over there. Well, they only got 4. One of them is out for the season, Deshaun Watson. He's lingering over there as a dark cloud. But then you got Joe Flacco, who was there when Deshaun Watson went down one year, and he took over and took them to the playoffs, and they ultimately got demolished by the Houston Texans. But he did give them a spark, and he knows Kevin Stefanski's offense. So he has been heralded as the starter right now. I think Kenny Pickett is hurt right now, so he hasn't really been getting any reps. I think he has a hamstring problem. But then you have the 2 rookies that were drafted this season, 3rd round. They drafted Dylan Gabriel. Nobody saw that coming. And then, of course, the Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round, and the Cleveland Browns picking him ultimately. So a lot of people have been posting stuff on training camps. You see highlights of – you really haven't seen none of Joe Flacco. You've seen all the highlights on Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. And it looks like Shedeur Sanders looks a lot better throwing the football than Dylan Gabriel, even though Dylan Gabriel has had his fair share of highlights. But it's been more so the Shedeur Sanders show. And I think the consensus around there thinks that people think that Shedeur Sanders is the better player than Dylan Gabriel. But, you know, they're going to roll with Joe Flacco because they just feel more comfortable with the veteran. So do you think they're handling this situation right? And how many games do you think it takes for them to go to maybe Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders or Kenny Pickett?
No, I don't think they've handled it right since the draft. I don't think they handled it right since the draft. Like, if you wanted to have, because number one, no matter how we all feel about Shedeur Sanders, you're not even helping Dylan Gabriel out because you picked Shedeur Sanders after him. So how are you going to build confidence with Dylan Gabriel if you wanted him to be the future of your QB room? Why would you draft Shedeur Sanders after him, knowing how polarizing Shedeur Sanders is? You know what I mean? That it just makes no sense. It's just kind of like they keep just chopping their toes off every single time. Every single time. They just keep doing stupidity stuff where this organization just can't get right. And it's just like we all see it with our two eyes. We all know who the best quarterback is in that room. And I get it. He hasn't played not one official down yet, as far as like a live game. But we can see it, man. He's probably the best quarterback in that room, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. It's Shedeur Sanders. Me and you had him as probably the second best quarterback in the entire draft, behind Cam Ward. And we see what Cam Ward is doing. I get it's just practice, but we see some of them throws that he's doing, and he could look like he can be special. Now let's see if he can do it in an active game against real competition. That's the same as Shedeur Sanders, but at the end of the day, it's just like, I understand you having veterans in there. I get the Kenny Pickett, I get the Joe Flacco situation. I'm not even mad about that because I get it. Maybe you don't want to put that much weight on a rookie quarterback and you want him to actually slowly develop, give him a year. I understand that. I'm not mad at that. I'm only mad at why did you put these two gentlemen, these young quarterbacks who are trying to start a career, why would you put that much pressure on Dillon Gabriel, knowing the type of heat that it's going to happen with Shedeur Sanders? Because you know what's going to happen? Dillon Gabriel is going to be forgotten because Shedeur Sanders is very polarizing. People gravitate to this young man. We see the impact he's had in that Cleveland community in a short amount of time. We see the gravitational pull he has with the own players in there. You got Myles Garrett still helping him out with simple drills after a long practice. Myles Garrett don't have to do that. They only really do that when I believe in this kid. I believe in his aura. I believe in his leadership. And I think there's been a lot of bad things said about Shedeur, but he's stepped up to the plate every single time and showed the type of leader that he is. Shows the type of he's the true definition of what an organization should want as a quarterback, as a leader of a team. We get it. He made a mistake with the speeding ticket. We understand that. Honest mistake. But at the end of the day, I don't understand some of the questions where people still ask about that. I don't understand the questions where people are asking him about him throwing to an equipment manager and stuff like that. I don't get it. You know what I mean? But the Browns need to just wake up. If they want to change any kind of perception on who they are as an organization and how they run this institution, come on, man. Like, wake up. You know who needs to be the starter. And if you don't, you know who should be your future. I'll just say that. Maybe your starter should be Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett because you want to have some veteran leadership, and maybe he might not be ready at this particular time. But practice says otherwise. I think he's ready. Against that top, and that defense ain't slight. That's a really good defense over there with hella talent. So if he's doing that against, come on, man. What are we doing? Shedeur. He's your star. You feel it in the community. You feel it within your locker room. The answer's there. The answer's there.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Shedeur Sanders, we both think that Shedeur Sanders should have been picking earlier anyway. So that just goes to say how we feel about Shedeur. But, you know, the way the Browns handled this situation, I just think it was so stupid. You know, you could have drafted Shedeur Sanders in the third round and got you a different player in the fifth, maybe another receiver, maybe another defensive lineman, maybe something else. But you took away valuable draft picks to draft two quarterbacks, and one of them, you know, you shouldn't even been picking, had no business being in the third round, to where his representation and him didn't think he was going to go in the third round. And it's a mess. And it just goes to why Cleveland is where they are right now. They shelled out all this money to Deshaun Watson, giving him all this guaranteed money, and it's blew up in their face ever since. It has not gone right. Deshaun Watson is a shell of himself. He's no longer the quarterback we saw with the Texans. Then he tears his ACL or breaks his leg, I think it was. And then he does it again, and it's just no good. So now you have this situation. You bring in Joe Flacco. We'll see how many games Joe Flacco lasts. Because let him have a bad game in the first week. That Cleveland Brown crowd is going to be singing Shador, Shador, push your door in, push your door in. They're going to be saying that. And then you're going to have to make a decision. And then if you put Kenny Pickett in, they really going to boo y'all. So I don't know what they're doing over there, but I do eventually think that Shador Sanders will be a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know when, but I do think eventually he will have the helmet on and be starting a game.
Yeah, and it's like I feel more. It's like I feel bad for Shador, but I feel even worse for Dylan Gabriel. You just don't feel like he's going to get a real honest shot to show what he's going to do, because number one, you got 4 quarterbacks there. You have to try to split equal reps too. You're taking away true reps for, like, if it was only 3 of them, all these players' reps would go up a little bit higher. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just a weird situation. I think Dylan Gabriel. As I said, I do think Shador Sanders is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel, but I would like to see Dylan Gabriel have a real true opportunity to make this team or make another team. So if you were going to pick him, then pick him and let another team pick Shador Sanders, even though we all believe Shador Sanders should have been way higher. But it's just now you're kind of impeding both of them in a sense, because they're not getting the reps that they should honestly truly get, being whether it's the third string or second. In all likelihood, you know what I mean? It's just you only got so many plays you could do in a practice, and you trying to split it with 4. So that's why you have situations where you got Shador Sanders throwing to an equipment manager. What does that do for him? What does that do for him? That does nothing for him. You know what I mean? That's like him playing catch with me or you. Like, what is that going to do? All right, we know he could throw the ball, but let's see him go against real talent. Let's see him go against first stringers. Let him start with third, second, and then work up to first. And if he's still killing, he's still killing. Like, it's hard to do when you're trying to get ready for a season like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about Shaquille O'Neal, dog. Your boy Shaq, in interviews, pretty much said that if he had T-Mac, he would have won the same 3 rings that he won with Kobe. And that he's the main reason why Kobe got rings. The floor is yours.
Respectfully, Shaq got to shut up, dog. He got to shut up, bro. Respectfully, bro. I like Shaq, but he I don't know what is causing him to say stuff like this. Like, bro, you had the opportunity to win without Kobe. And what happened? You got swept both times against the Houston Rockets. You had a top tier player with you. You know what his name was? Penny Hardaway. Like, Tracy McGrady. You had a top tier center. His name was Yao Ming. And what happened? You lost. Shaq, when did you actually start winning? When Kobe actually started playing on that team and was actually a contributor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could wake up and put up 40 and 15 and stuff like that. Yeah, you were the most dominant in your era at the time. But there was a lot of games where when it came down to closing, Kobe was the closer. Kobe was one of the main reasons you were able to get over the hump and win some championships with Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? You came in overweight. You came in out of shape. Kobe came ready at all times. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the reasons why we had trouble against the Pistons that one year. Like, we could go back into that revisionist history. Like Shaq is a great, great player. He's one of the best centers of all time. But he got to stop doing this thing where he thinks that any player could have played with him and he would have won chips. Because the reality is that's not true. You had the players, you had the talent, you had the teams before Kobe, and you could not get over the hump. So, like, I'm not going to go on this long diatribe. We did this already before, but we got to stop disrespecting Kobe, man. I get it. He's no longer with us. It's very sad. A lot of y'all wouldn't have said this when Kobe was alive, because Kobe would have came at y'all neck and told you how crazy y'all was. People want to forget what Kobe Bryant was. People want to forget the dominance that Kobe was. People want to forget the killer that Kobe was. Let's not forget. Do your revisionist history. I get it. Y'all got a lot of Bron sexual fans in that want to, shout out to Bron. But these players that are saying these outrageous things about Kobe Bryant, that person right there above my head, y'all are insane. That goes back to the list with the Bleacher Report where you have Steph and this player over. Bro, I seen it with my own 2 eyes, man. There's not a lot of players better than Kobe Bean Bryant. And I'm going to be honest with you. LeBron ain't better than Kobe Bean Bryant. He had a longer, better career. But as a player, as a basketball player, I would take Kobe Bean Bryant over LeBron James 10 out of 10, and no one can tell me otherwise. I do not care. I do not care. That is my personal feelings, and I'm going to stick to it. Respect to LeBron. LeBron is also one of the greats of his era, probably the greatest of his era. But we got to stop disrespecting certain players, man, because y'all have a revisionist history, and y'all like to change history, and y'all like to change perception because y'all want to play this dumb game, because y'all want to be right. Y'all are not correct. Shaq, you're not correct, brother. You had your opportunities to win without Kobe Bean Bryant, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You got swept twice, brother. Twice. Let's not do this, bro. You were one of the Achilles heels in the fourth quarter because you can't hit free throws. So who was the one closing the game? Come on, man. We got to stop, bro. Shaq, I love you, brother. You are an instrumental part to our community, to the Lakers' history, to the NBA basketball. But stop playing this game, bro, like you are bigger than Kobe Bean Bryant. You are not, brother. You are not. You are not, bro. Just because you were bigger in size doesn't mean you were the better player. Let's call the cap, bro. Let's call it spade, bro. I'm tired of this Kobe Bean disrespect, bro. This is out of hand, man. It's crazy. Even Michael Jordan, even the Michael Jordan disrespect is getting out of hand too, bro. Let's come on, man. I get it. Y'all have y'all favorite players, but come on, man. Let's stop having revisionist history. These players, look at the tape, bro. YouTube is right there, and it's for free. Get your education right. Get your head game right, because y'all on here looking stupid, bro. Dead ass, man. Y'all crazy, bro. Y'all are crazy. Y'all, this is the reason why I ain't got no hair now, dog. Because y'all be saying the dumbest things about y'all, bro. Like, come on, man. This is crazy. I'm done.
You sure?
I'm done.
Is that there?
I'll say, rest up easy to one of the GOATs right there. One of the GOATs, Kobe Bean. And don't ever forget that. If you forget, hey, YouTube is free, brother. YouTube is free. Look it up.
Look, I'm not gonna act like I was the biggest Kobe fan, but I respect the brother. Game, you know what I'm saying? I thought he was the closest thing to Jordan, and he had that killer instinct at the end of the day. And all the players that he mentored speak highly of Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where this discourse is coming from, where people are trying to discredit Kobe and try to act like he wasn't one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Even though I couldn't stand him as a player, I knew he was one of those ones, and I knew that if he had the ball in his hands, he might have been lights out. So,
but the funny thing about it was, why didn't y'all say this when he was alive? Y'all were too damn scared. That's another reason why Kobe was great, because y'all were too P-word to say it when he was alive. So why you gonna say it when he's dead? What are we talking about? You should have said this when he was alive 5, 6, 7 years ago. All I saw y'all was kissing feet and kissing rings. About Mamba mentality to this, Mamba mentality that, crying crocodile tears, doing all the remembrance. From Tracy McGrady to Shaq to all these players, LeBron James, all these players showed high regard. But the moment he's gone, and now the dust kind of settles, that we kind of all just accept that he's no longer here. Now y'all want to say all this stuff? Y'all had the opportunity 6, 7 years ago. Y'all had mics in y'all hand. Y'all had cameras in y'all face. But now y'all want to say it when he ain't here? It just shows the true colors of who y'all are as players and how delicate and weak and sensitive y'all are. Really talk. Real talk. Shaq, you sensitive as hell about anything about you. We see how you act on the TV screen. We see how you talk to Charles, how sensitive you are. You know, jokes tell reality, and Charles ain't far from the truth. You piggybacked off of certain cats because you didn't take your career serious. You just wanted to come in and play. You didn't work on your free throw shooting. You didn't work on your health. It's just the reality of the situation. You ain't winning. You ain't win without Kobe, and you ain't won without Dwayne Wade. So what happened? Why all of a sudden now it's, if I play with Tracy McGrady, I'm winning 3 in a row. You sure about that? You sure? All right. Tracy McGrady, you had Yao Ming. You sure about that? You sure you could have did what Kobe did? You had the opportunity. What happened? What happened? Now he gone. Now all of a sudden, everybody want to talk now? Come on, man. Come on, man. Just shows the true character of who y'all are, man. I not care. Respect to y'all careers, But y'all really showing y'all true colors, and that's cool.
For sure. All right, man. Last but not least, let's do our top 10 NFL power rankings. Training camp is kicking off. So I wanted us to do our power rankings now, and then week one, we will start doing power rankings from the whole season. See how much it changed. Maybe it changes by week one. But go ahead and give me your list, player.
All right, so number 10, I got the Texans. I think just with that situation, I still think they got a lot of talent on the team. I think that defense is still really good. I love D'Amico Rollins. I still love CJ Stroud. I know a lot of people I know are trying to pull cold water on him and don't think he's going to be a legit starter. Let's cut the cap, man. He went through a lot of injuries, a lot of problems with his offensive line. I think this team will be a little bit better. Obviously, the Joe Mixon injury isn't really helping, but you got Nick Chubb there to back up. I think Nick Chubb can have a bounce back year. I think he's still a legit bona fide running back. I'm not saying he can still probably put up the numbers like he's 1,000-yard back, but I think he'll be a great serviceable running back until Joe Mixon gets healthy again. Number 9, I got the Packers. I think they have the potential to rise up pretty high. I just think it all comes down to Jordan Love and if he can control his turnover problems. If he can do that, I think they have all the talent in the world. The addition of Matthew Golden, I think this defense is young, pretty good. I know they got rid of Jair Alexander, which is okay with me. He wasn't like he was a big factor on his team for the last couple of years due to all the injuries. I still think he's a solid cornerback if he could stay healthy, but he just wasn't a part of that. And then obviously, he left some bad blood with the Packers. But overall, I think this offense could be really good. But Jordan Love has to control the turnovers. I have the Rams at number 8 only because this back injury with Matthew Stafford worries me a lot. He's getting older. We all know how injury prone Matthew Stafford is. And if he's having back injuries already in the season, we ain't even got past week 1 of training camp. And they don't even know when he's going to be able to come back. They still think he's going to be able to come back and be ready for week 1. I have caution to pause. If Matthew Stafford was healthy, this team would be a lot higher because I do really like this team. I really do like this defense. I love that defensive line, but with Matthew Stafford hurt, that makes me a little iffy. Number 7, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they have one of the deepest rotation of wide receivers I've ever seen. I think they got to be at least like 5 deep, with receivers. I love their run backfield with Bucky Irvin. I think this defense is really good. It can be really good and really opportunistic. And Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield. You got to put respect on his name. Number 6, I got the Commanders at 6 only because of the Terry McLaurin situation. I assumed it's going to get resolved, but I'm still going to be at caution pause. I still think this team could be really good. And I still got to see this defense, especially on that back end, how they can perform. I think that's the only thing that makes me worried about it is just that back end of the defense. If that back end of the defense with the cornerbacks and the safeties can perform, this team is going to be really good. Number 5, I have the Detroit Lions. I just think that it's pretty much the same team coming back. It's just that they don't have their defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. So they should still be really good. I just don't know how good they're going to be, how consistently good they're going to be, and how much does that affect Jared Goff. See how they do the play calls. But overall, they're very talented. Number 4, I have the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. What can I say? This team is really good. Again, same as the Commanders. Can this back end of the defense with them cornerbacks, can they perform? I'm not really worried about the linebackers or the front of the part of the defense. It's more about that back end. Can they perform? Let's see what happens. They made some additions to that. Number 3, I have your Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Travis Kelce is a little healthier. We got to figure out the whole Rashid Rice situation as far as like how long he's going to get suspended. We all know he's going to get suspended. We just got to see how long it's going to be. And then just, Chris Jones is a little older. This team is going to be good. It's just that, do they hit the wall, man? They've been so consistently making deep playoff runs. And I get it, Patrick Mahomes, everybody thinks that he's just always going to save the day. But sooner or later, this team is going to hit a wall. And it's not me because I'm a Raider fan. It's just the reality of the situation. You keep making deep playoff runs. Sooner or later, it's just going to happen. So see what's up. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens are deep. They're loaded. I just think there's no more excuses for this team. This team needs to perform. If they don't perform well, I think Harbaugh they need to seriously consider maybe making a coaching change with Harbaugh. And I know people may think that may be sacrilegious to say, but it gets to a point where if he can't get them over the hump, maybe they need to find somebody else to do it. And then number 1, I got the Eagles, man. Defending champs. They're loaded. They've added more depth. They really didn't lose anybody. Saquon, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. They added depth to that defense. And what can I say, man? That team is loaded. So that's my top 10.
For sure. Number 10, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. I think they've made some additions to this defense. I think this secondary might be the best secondary in the NFL to, challenge the Eagles secondary. They've added, corners, Jadu Barron, Riley Moss, and Pat Sertan is going to be returning, of course. They added Tafunga. He's going to be the safety out there. So they've added some additions to this. We just got to see Bo Nix. Really, Bo Nix is really the question in this. And, I know they gave Cortland Sutherland big contract. Can he live up to that contract? But we got to see it. I'm with you. Number 9, I got Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, he's ascended every year in this league. We know the talent that Jordan Love is. It's just him putting together at the right time and the right moments. And he's got receivers, like you said. He got Golden in the draft. You got what's his name? Jay Reed. Christian Watson probably be out. They still kept Romeo Dobbs. And then they got Josh Jacobs, and then that defense continues to get better. We'll see how they look without Jair Alexander, but their defense still they get better every year. Number 8, I got the Texans, C.J. Stroud and the fellas. I think that they've improved at the wide receiver position. You got Christian Kirk. You got those 2 young receivers out of Iowa, Knowles and I forgot the other kid's name. But they got those 2 young wide receivers. Schultz is coming back. Like you said, Joe Mixon's going to be out, but you got Nick Chubbs. They drafted the rookie Woody Marks, was a good receiving tight end out of USC. So we'll see how they look defensively. They still got those 2 defensive ends and Danielle Hunter and what's the other dude's name
for the Vikings?
No, the Texans, the defensive end.
Oh, so it's Darnell Hunter and what's my man's name? He got drafted a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, he got drafted same year as C.J. Stroud. Regardless, y'all know who I'm talking about. But those 2 defensive ends are still good. The corners are still good with Shipley and Lanster. So they got a nice little defense, and their squad is nice. So I got the
Will Anderson.
Yeah, Will Anderson. But I think the Texans are going to be a lot improved, especially on the offensive line. They've made some additions on that offensive line too. Number 7, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions because I have questions about their coordinators. I think that I don't care how much talent you got on there. If they're not coached right, it don't matter. So if these coordinators don't do good, we saw that when the coordinators for the Eagles left. When they went to that Super Bowl and Shane Steichens and Jonathan Gannon left to go be head coaches, we saw a dip in that defense and we saw a dip in that offense. So this could very well be the same situation with the Detroit Lions. We're going to see how good of a coach Dan Campbell is, and we're going to see how good of a play callers these coordinators are. So it very well be a step back, or they could be right on schedule. So we got to see. Number 6, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're the best in their division. They got too much talent around them with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin coming back from injury. You got all those young receivers that they drafted, Amika Buka. What's the dude there? What's his name? Jalen McMillan. They got all kinds of receiver talent. The tight end, the running backs, Bucky Irvin. You know what I'm saying? And their defense is getting younger and improving every year. I still wish they would have added a little bit more on that back end, but they still got Antoine Winfield Jr. back there. He's one of the best safeties in the league. So, number 5, I know his back injury kind of scares me, but I'm still going to go with the Rams because I still think that they're a talented team. Sean McVay, that defensive line is just one of the best young defensive lines out there. And then Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, I think that they'll be fine. Until I see Matthew Stafford's not going to be there for a long period of time, I'm going to keep him at 5. Number 4, I'm going to go, even though they've added to that defense, and Lamar Jackson is one of the best, until they get to over the hump, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens at 4. My expectations for them is I don't care what you do in the regular season. You got to get over the hump, sir. And it's not just the Chiefs. You got to get past the Bills, too. So until I see it, you will always be under the Bills and you will be always under the Chiefs. So it is what it is. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Bills. My same sentiment. Until you beat the Chiefs, I can't put you over the Chiefs. Yes, they've made some additions on that defense. I do like that young, talented corner out of Kentucky. I think he's going to be a monster. I think if Christian Benford can be healthy, I think their secondary will be better. Their defensive line, they added Joey Bosa. We all know how Joey Bosa is. It's not that he's not talented. It's just that he can't stay healthy. So if he can at least if Joey Bosa can give the Buffalo Bills 10 games, that will be a success. 10 meaningful games, not just being out there. Like if he can produce a pass rush for them on a consistent basis, then this defense can be really, really good. And you won't have to worry about the back end too much because then you'll be knocking the quarterback off his spot. So, but I do think there will be improved. I think Keon Coleman will be improved. Still got Khalil Shakur. They signed Joshua Palmer. Well, I think he's a good receiver. I don't think he's a great receiver by any means, but he's a good receiver. He'll add something to that receiver room. So, and then Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Number 2, I'm gonna go with my Chiefs. Until anybody beats us in the AFC Championship game, I'm gonna keep them right there. We got blown out by the team that's number 1 on this list. So until then, I think, and from what I've seen from training camp, baby, woo, y'all might have messed up and gave us a left tackle, y'all. Y'all might have messed up, Maul. You messed up.
Let's see if bro can stay healthy, bro.
You messed up.
Let's see if bro can stay healthy, bro.
You messed up.
No one's losing sleep, bro.
Let's see if he can stay healthy, sleep.
Bro. Nah, we really not.
I gave us a franchise left tackle.
Let's see if Brody can stay healthy, bro. Let's see if he can stay healthy. That was a bad knee injury he had.
Let me talk my shit right now. Y'all fucked up. Anyway,
all right, man.
And then
all right, man. See if you can make it to week 5, my boy.
Number 1, I got the Eagles. What's understood don't need to be said. They get all the talent. They cheat and draft and stuff, and get every Georgia, Alabama player on their team, and
I'm sure they'll sign Christian Wilkins here too.
Yeah, they probably will put him next to Jalen Carter, and they'll have about 175 sacks, beat the records.
He'll be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. Have him surgery, and then he'll be ready for the playoffs.
This whack stuff, right, man. I'm tired of this team. But hey, shout out to Howie Roseman, Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
All right, that's my top 10 team for our power rankings. Do you agree with us? What's y'all top 10? For y'all talk trash, you got to have a list. Don't be just on there talking trash and taking apart our list. And then you know what I'm saying? And then you talking all this trash and you ain't got a list. What's y'all list? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know Commander fans is looking at me. Why ain't the Commanders on there? Because I got questions about y'all defense, man. Mm-hmm. And then the Terry McLaurin thing, it don't sound too good, man. He said he wants to make more than DK Metcalf. Mm-hmm. Are y'all gonna make that happen, or is he gonna get traded to the Raiders? Because if you lose him, I'll bet it's off. I don't care how good Jaden Daniels is. If Debo Sanders is your number 1 wide receiver, you just yeah. Eagles, y'all might as well just go ahead and start raising the banners for the NFC East championship. You know what I'm saying? Division to winners. So. But yeah. All right, man. You got anything else?
Oh yeah. We're not done. I know you forgot about it, but we're gonna play this game. One gotta go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, one gotta go. Chris, we all know we love to put him in some situations where he gotta, eliminate some people and disrespect some careers and stuff like that. So we love that. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure people have seen the one gotta go. Pretty much. It's a group of people and you pick who gotta go. So this is what's gonna happen. So all right, are you ready, sir?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So first up we have Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Doug Williams, and Donovan McNabb. One gotta go, sir. Who is it that should be eliminated? And why?
Oh, I can't stand you.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb got to go.
Why does Donovan McNabb have to go?
Because on the biggest stage, well, damn, I can say that same thing for Cam Newton. Damn. But physically, as a specimen, I'm taking Cam Newton over Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
And look, I think Donovan McNabb gets a bad rap, but and he did it with mediocre talent, but
Yeah.
so did Cam Newton. So I'm just gonna take Donovan McNabb. I just think he's the lesser talented out of both two brothers.
Okay. Michael Vick and Doug Williams. Out of all four of them, you gonna pick Donovan McNabb?
Yeah, I think Doug Williams. He was in a time where quarterbacks were looked at as dummies and they couldn't read defense, and I think he showed that. Especially coming from a HBCU. So
okay. All right, sir. Next up, we have some tight ends for you. We have Jason Witten.
Mm-hmm.
We have Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
We have Kellen Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mark Andrews. Which one got to go?
Jason Witten.
Jason Witten. Okay. Why Jason Witten?
I just think athletically, he's the worst out of all of them. He was reliable, don't get it twisted. Yeah. But if I want somebody who's going to get open, give me them other three.
Okay. All right, next up, we got the running backs. Number 1, we got Marshall Faulk. Number 2, Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
Number 3, Dalvin Cook. And then number 4, Sean Alexander.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Okay. Why that decision?
I just think that those three other backs, Dalvin Cook was great, but I think the other backs had longer careers. They did it longer in their career. Mm-hmm. Like it was like probably a 3-4 window for Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Whereas those brothers was doing like 8, 9, 10 years.
Mm-hmm. I feel it. All right, next up, got the linebackers. Got 3 more. Got Bobby Wagner, number 1. Luke Kuechly, number 2. Brian Urlacher, number 3. And Fred Warner, number 4. Which one got to go and why?
Oh, man. Name them names again. Luke Kuechly.
We got Bobby Wagner.
Luke
Kuechly. Brian Urlacher. And Fred Warner.
This is difficult. Oh, man, it's tough.
I was going to make this easy for you, brother.
Luke Kuechly,
Bobby Wagner, Brian Urlacher, Fred Warner.
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby got to go, huh? Why is that, sir?
I think those other 3 linebackers, even though he was great, but I think that those other 3 linebackers were the best players on their team.
I can understand that. I can agree.
Bobby wasn't the best player on his team. He was effective, but it was all about Legion of Boom when they was winning them championships.
For sure. All right, man. We got 2 more categories. This is the cornerback category.
Oh, you're going to do some foolery. I knew you're going to do some tomfoolery on this one.
All right, number 1, we got Darrell Green.
Okay.
Number 2, we got Champ Bailey. Number 3, we got Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
And then number 4, we got Richard Sherman.
That was easy.
Easy? All right.
Darrell Green was running a 40 and 40, man. What are we talking about, man?
All right. Why Richard Sherman, though? Why Richard Sherman, man?
Look, I think he was a good corner. I never looked at Richard Sherman as a great. I thought he was a product of that system.
Okay.
I thought Earl Thomas what made that secondary. Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. If they weren't there, I think Richard Sherman, you wouldn't even know who he was.
Hey, from the words of Cris Style.
Hey, I said what I said.
All right, man. All right, last one. Got the defensive lineman. You ready, sir?
All right, here we go.
We got number 1, John Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Julius Peppers.
Okay.
Number 3, Charles Haley. And then number 4, Dwight Freeney.
Respectfully, I'm gonna go Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney. Oh wow, the spinneroo master, huh? Why him?
I think John Randall was Dwight Freeney before Dwight Freeney.
Yeah.
He was a
Okay.
smaller defensive lineman who just was quicker than everybody because he was only like 6 foot 5'11". He wasn't a big dude, but he was just quick off his feet than everybody else. We all know what Julius Peppers was just a physical freak off the coming out the edge. Dude was 6'7", 200 and some odd pounds, just pure speed and power. And then what was the other one? Oh, Charles Haley. Charles Haley was one of the meanest defensive linemen you'll ever meet. Like that dude, take your helmet off and snatch your head off, and just
for sure.
He'll beat you.
For sure. Well, that was the first edition of our NFL. One gotta go. We'll do a couple more, man, as we get ready for the season, man. Put Chris's status on the line. So if y'all get mad, y'all know who to call. Go to him. So
get mad at me. I don't care. Seattle fans. Yeah, I said Bobby Wagner. Commander fans, I said it. What?
For sure.
All right, man. Who gets your flowers of the week?
Oh, so my flowers of the week. I got 2 of them. First one goes to Madden 26. Finally released the early release date, and we get it a little bit early. Comes out next Thursday. That way we can get rid of college football, throw that in the junk dumpster, trash, burn it, toss it, fry it, saute it, get it out of here. That game is terrible. It's the worst game ever. Now you got people doing some controversy where they think EA purposely made college football trash so everybody can go to Madden, big up Madden, bring that market back because they're in the contract year. So would I be shocked? No, but Madden looks really good. I'm expecting it to be good, so I'm really excited about that. And then number 2, I have to give it to Deion Sanders, man, and everything that he went through, man. I'm glad he was able to beat cancer. It's always F cancer. I lost my grandmother to cancer, so she was my best friend. I'm sure a lot of us in our families have had somebody who had to deal with cancer. Hopefully they're still alive, and if they're not, my prayers are always with you. But I'm super excited that Deion Sanders was able to beat that. And again, as he said, go get checked. It is very, very important. We have one life. Make sure you go get checked, y'all. So prayers out to Deion, man, and I'm happy for him.
My flowers go to every NFL team that didn't pick Joshua Simmons. Thank y'all, man.
Oh my God.
Thank y'all, man.
Lord Jesus.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all did it again. Y'all allow us to get a franchise left tackle. It's over. Like I just told Maul before on the top 10 ranking, it's over. My man about to have 10 seconds in the pocket. Yeah, I said it. All right, man. Who gets your hell now?
My hell now goes to TikTok because they keep screwing us. Whatever it is that they doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand y'all policies and y'all procedures and how people do lives. Huh?
I don't think it's TikTok.
I don't care what it is. They need to figure it out. I don't care. I'm blaming TikTok right now.
I think it's Restream.
I don't care. They need to fix it.
Please don't
They need to fix it. They need to fix
it.
You
pay y'all.
Besides that, is there any other hell nas? Oh, there's always hell nods, but I'm gonna keep peace today. I'm in a good mood, so I got nothing.
Well, my hell nod goes to Michael Rappaport for telling everybody we idiots for feeling how we feel about Hulk Hogan. Who are you to tell us, sir? Michael Rappaport, as you get older, the more and more you start revealing yourself. You made your career off of the backs of being the white guy who loves black women. Ooh. Now look at you. Your truth is revealing. You used us just to try to get in the cookout. And you brought raisins with potato salad to the cookout, and I'm kicking your ass out. And you get hell no of the week for telling us how we supposed to feel about Hulk Hogan. We ain't trying to hear that, player. So you get hell no of the week. All right. Anything else?
Shout out to Luka. Shout out to you being on Men's Health. Man, Luka's season is coming, bro. You know what I'm saying? About to sign his contract. Seems like all reports are saying he's going to sign a long-term deal with the Lakers. Can't wait. Saw LeBron with Nikola Jokic's agent. Very curious about that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
see about that.
Deals.
You know what I mean? You know, I'm always ready for Lakers season, but you know, it's NFL. So nah, man. Besides that, nah, man. I got nothing, brother. I
Hey,
got
shout
nothing.
out to Nikola Jokic for crying over his horse, but he didn't cry when he won the
Oh my
NBA
god, nah,
championship.
facts, bro. Facts.
That's a, NBA
Facts.
is his side job, man.
Facts. Oh, and shout out to Clarissa Shields, man. Another dominant performance with her.
Do
Obviously,
not fight that woman.
obviously the conversations are really with Layla Ali. You know what I mean? Obviously, so
Layla,
we got to
don't
see
do
what's
that.
up.
Layla.
Did yo? I didn't. Did Carrington win? Did Carrington win his fight?
Yeah, he won.
He won.
He
Oh, okay,
dominated.
I didn't get to
He
see it. I was
dominated.
trying to watch it, but I totally spaced out.
No, he dominated. But and
Okay.
what's her name's son is
Nothing.
gonna be a problem.
Who?
Fernando Vargas' son. He gonna be a
I
problem.
ain't see him. I ain't see him.
Emilio, he gonna be a problem.
He gonna be a problem. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at the highlights of his fight.
Yeah, he gonna
I
be a
didn't see
problem. That dude, he got the movement and all that stuff. Like that kid gonna be a problem. He won. I think he won a belt too. Xander Zayas, he gonna be a problem too. Set up him and Virgil Ortiz tomorrow.
I
That
wouldn't be mad
fight,
at it.
woo! I know they said that they want they're gonna have Boots and Josh Kelly fight for be the eliminator for Zayas' belt. And
Okay.
I wouldn't mind Boots and Zayas either, but I just think Zayas is kind of young, but I wouldn't mind it. But Virgil Ortiz and Xander Zayas, yeah, sign me up.
I'm with it.
Me up.
I'm with it.
Hey, 154 is looking nice right now, people. That looks like might be the little area of boxing where it's gonna get real interesting because now everybody's falling in line. You got Sebastian Fedor as a champion, Bud's still a champion, but I wouldn't be surprised unless he loses the fight to Canelo or it's just something that he can't pass over at 154. I think he's gonna relinquish that belt because I personally think he's gonna retire after the Canelo fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole purpose with him holding the belt, I think he's still just trying to keep all his options open.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're in a rush to release it from him because they just know the valuable money that he can bring with Terrence Crawford. I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of it will play with the Canelo fight. You know what I mean? So we're just kind of all just anticipating that. Oh, what do you think about certain people saying that Terrence Crawford is like on steroids?
I saw that dude that said that mess. Shut up. That they's building excuses already.
Yeah,
just like they did with your boy Errol Spence. All the excuses. All he had the car accidents. He just ain't in his right mind, and he looked weight drained.
Mm-hmm.
Now they gonna say if Crawford go in there and beat that boy bad. Oh, he was on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
He was juicing. We ain't never known Bud Crawford for juice.
Mm-hmm.
Just y'all.
Oh, I saw Dubois' sister.
I didn't I tell you?
Shorty nice. Yeah, Shorty nice.
I told
Shorty
you.
nice.
You see that girl
nice.
she beat the hell out of?
Yeah, Shorty nice. I ain't gonna cap.
But
Yeah, she
was
nice.
coming from everywhere. I was like, man, throw the damn towel.
Yeah. Oh, and I did get your tag about old girl.
Yeah, man, put some respect.
All right, man. Broken clock is right twice a day.
Don't do
all
that.
right, she got one. She got one good game, dog.
Do
all
that.
right.
She just wasn't getting the
Kyle-
opportunities, man.
Kyle Kuzma had one good game.
Shout out
What
to
we
Joy
talking about,
Lloyd,
bro?
but Joy Lloyd hasn't been playing well, so she
About time. We've been waiting all year.
got her spot taken from her, and Kristen Bell went in there and stepped in and put 19 on him.
Do you think the Aces can make a turnaround? So I saw the opening show that was going into the Fever game against the Sky, and those ladies, they kind of talked about it, how they don't think the Aces can turn over the leaf and get the ball run. Do you think the Aces can make a deep playoff run? Do you think they can fix what they got to fix and try to make a deep playoff run, or do you think it is what it is with them? They're just going to be a 500 team, and they'll probably be a first round exit.
The problem with the Aces, man, is just they got to get another score. They got to get a third score. And that's the problem. Asia. I think Jackie Young is your second best player on that team right now.
100%.
And they need a third player on a consistent level. And they thought they was getting that with Drew Lloyd. If Drew Lloyd was giving them 15, 16 a night, I think that would have been enough. I think that they would have been cool with that. I do think that the addition of Alyssa Smith was a big addition because I think Kia Stokes is better coming off the bench. I just think Alyssa's a better scorer, and I think she's better with the rebounding and stuff. She's tougher, I think, more physical. I think the starting five is cool. It's just I just think that they do need to get younger in certain positions. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Deep run, I don't know. I don't think if they're playing like this, then no. I think they might be one and done because they're just too inconsistent. They take 2 steps forward and then they take 2 steps back, and it just seems like Becky Hammond's like, damn, I got to pick some shit up. And then next thing you know, the new starting lineup is somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think they just turned every stone. Okay, we made a trade. We let go of this person. We brought this person in. Like, I don't know. But I just think that they don't have a consistent third score that can just – I'm not telling you you got to put 20 or 30 a night. I mean, can you give me a consistent 15? That's all we need, baby. Because Asia is a walking damn near 30 points.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Her and Nafissa are probably the only two that are like walking consistently over 20 points a night.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If she's not getting at least 20, 23 to 25, you're like,
something wrong. But I think Jackie, she's good between 15 to 20 a night. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea's going to give you Chelsea stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's more the facilitator of the team and all that. I like Aaliyah Nye, but I think that she's building. Defensively, she's good. I think she can shoot the 3. But it's just consistency, type of deal. That's the problem with this team. They're just not consistent. They don't have what they had. You know what I'm saying? When they were winning those championships, they had dogs. Kelsey,
Alicia Clark.
Yeah. They had dogs. Yeah. They just did. They had dogs. And it was just it is what it is. But I think
Bree Hall available? Is Bree Hall still? Is she on the team yet?
No, she got waived again.
So Bree Hall's not even playing?
No, she got waived.
Aces, call Bree Hall. What are we doing?
She was on the Golden. She got picked up by Golden State, and then they waived her.
That's crazy. That's insane. I do not understand how my boo and she is not playing. And I feel bad for Rakia. I think it was Rakia. She got her wig snatched off. That sucks.
And I saw your girl yesterday, Dijon. She did a hard foul on Nalissa.
She did what?
Nalissa Smith, her boo.
Oh, she did a hard foul on her. Oh yeah, that's a fight right there. But
they talked about it on Twitter.
What'd they say?
Because somebody was like, what they say? Something about a foul, and something happened, and then Nalissa was like, "You mean a foul?" She was like, "I didn't foul you," and then she said, "Numbers lie, men lie, women lie, numbers don't." She posted the clip.
Oh my god! Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them.
But no, like I said, the Aces, it's just not their year, dog. It isn't.
Yeah,
it isn't. It's Minnesota, Liberty.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like. So, and I think it's the Lynx to lose this year. I just think they're determined. They probably could have won it last year, and because they went to Game 7 in that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did. Like shit. Like the Liberty got what's her name back? The center chick. What's her name?
Did they get her back?
Yeah, she came back and she was balling.
We'll see. We'll see. We need Miss Ballin' D.
Yeah, Miss Ballin' D. What you doing, girl? What you doing? I know you ain't that busy.
We need you on the show, man. We need our eyes and ears. You the one to cover the Aces, girl.
I know.
We need some education on the inside.
Oh, for real. What is this girl's name? It's gonna bother me like crazy.
But yeah, shout out to
Jonquel Jones. Yeah, she came back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's good.
Yeah, she came back. Yeah.
But hey, shout out to the W.
Yeah, shout out to the W. Shout out to
Kelsey Mitchell putting up 35 yesterday. Jeez.
She was cooked. Yeah, she been cooking, man. And FIFA looked better without.
Don't you?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm not doing this. Anyway, if you look at the screen, you see our QR code for the WWE shop. Go ahead and scan that, and you'll go and see all the merchandise in the WWE shop. All the Rhea Ripley, EO Sky. Who is that?
Cameron Brink is coming back tomorrow against guess who? The Aces.
Yeah,
Shout out to Cameron Brink though. I'm excited to see her back on the court.
that's what's up. But yeah, go to our WWE shop, get your latest gear. Rhea Ripley, Jay Uso, EO Sky, Bianca Belair, Jay Cargill, Seth freaking Rollins, Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, all of them. Go ahead and go to your WWE shopping right now through our QR code. If you want to donate to the Cris Style Mal podcast, you can donate to our Cash App, Cris Mal Podcast. Whatever you want to donate, we will greatly appreciate. Whatever streaming platform you use. Hey, shout out to the 87 up in here, man, today. We appreciate y'all, man, rocking with us today.
Sure.
Man. Shout out to the 87.
Man.
But go ahead, if you have any streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you use, we are available on those platforms. If you're a first time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays, usually at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Wednesday nights, 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can jump in the live stream. You can give us your opinion on these topics. We want to hear from you. Do you agree with Mal's take on the Kobe and Shaq situation? Do you agree on Cam Newton's accolades? Do you agree with our top 10 NFL power rankings? How about the one gotta go? Did you agree with who the people I picked? They gotta go. How you feel about Deion Sanders' situation? You know, we want to hear from you. Agree with us, disagree with us. Just talk to us nice, man. Whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Whatever you use, Cris and Mal is available at Cris and Mal. We will follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. So go ahead and tap in with us and follow us. If you have questions or feedback, if you have a topic or question that you want us to bring up on the show, and we like said question, we'll bring it up. We'll shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via DM, email, or our mentions. All right, good people. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We will be back on Wednesday to talk about whatever topics come up. You know, I'm sure we'll have some stuff to talk about. SummerSlam is this weekend, so you know I'm gonna be giving my previews on that. Yeah, and various other things. So until Wednesday, we out.